All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be getting into the round 4 props and showdown pick. Just a reminder, give a like and subscribe to the channel. That helps me continue to be able to pump out more content for you guys, especially for the fantasy golf content where, you know, there's just not as big of a crowd in there as the props based content that I put out there. Make sure to be liking the video. That lets me know you guys do appreciate me putting out this content. So looking at the boards that we have available for both PrizePicks and Underdog, they are some pretty interesting boards just simply because we know that the tournament is going to be more difficult to play simply because the weather is finally going to be up there like it was projected to be at the start of the week. So tomorrow, and I believe that this is tomorrow on the PGA Tour website right now, not entirely sure. Anyways, the winds are expected to pick up. They're expected to be 20 to 30 mile per hour. They have moved up the tee times as a result. Okay. So with that, the scoring average that we have seen thus far for the Scottish Open is probably going to be a lot higher. And we do see that echoed in the props that we are getting. And so a lot of the lines are going to be more accurate now today. But I do want to call it, we are getting a decent amount of prop line differences, especially for Tommy Fleetwood and Corey Connors. These are going to be two situations in which, yes, I think the course is going to play harder. Okay. It's a par 70 course. They have Tommy Fleetwood valued as someone that's going to finish under par. You know, we'll see if that holds up. And like, I like looking at this simply due to the fact that we have multiple ways to go about looking at kind of the data, both for Showdown and also props based content. So if we go ahead and take a peek at the Showdown list here, we can find who are the top round 4 Showdown plays. Okay, so Rory's number 1. I'm not sure why he's pulling in a -70. I'll have to take a peek at that after this video, but he's going to be the top Showdown pick. Then we got Scotty, Tom Kim, Hatton, Tommy Fleetwood, Xander, Max Homa. Okay, and that's just good to know in terms of maybe who we should be targeting both for props and for showdown purposes. Another way we can go about looking at that is just looking at projected fantasy points. And so that's a much better way, I think, of looking at it. So looking at it, we'll see Rory, then Hatton, then Scotty, then Kim, then Homa, then Tommy, then Ricky, then Scotty. Okay, so it's just a slightly better way of looking at it like that. And so just kind of looking at it from a showdown perspective, you know, maybe we want to be on Benny Ann. Maybe we want to be on Nick Taylor. And for what it's worth, guys, round 3 Showdown, I had a 12th place finish there. Thankfully, Tommy Fleetwood and Tommy Fleetwood and Xander Schauffele, they're both top 5 round 3 showdown plays. Hopefully you guys were able to use this tool and able to benefit from that. All I did yesterday was I bumped up Xander's just to give him a little bit more priority. I bumped up his fantasy point projection, and I went ahead and bumped up Ramon Langquist's fantasy point projection, and that was really it. And so it spit out another good day. That was actually the best day thus far for round 3 showdown. So that's 3 straight days in which just doing this and maybe changing slight settings where we go 3 unique players, 35% max exposure, and maybe, you know, making a few human adjustments here has been really beneficial. So like Ramon Langquist, I might actually bump up again. He is someone that I was high on at the start of this week, and he's someone that continues to produce. So yeah, I probably do want to be on him a decent amount. We see Andrew Putnam really popping up in there. I probably don't want to be on him that much. Same thing with like Lee Hodges there. Probably don't want to be on Lee Hodges that much, so maybe even 15% max owned, and that's really about it. We can generate, and now we are getting some good build. These are kind of the same builds as yesterday. Nick Taylor was popping up in there as well, so that's good to see. I'm perfectly fine with this. I do want to call out that for showdown purposes, we tend to see this be the least easy to predict. It's the more random because, well, really it comes down to a lot of things like finishing position. So that's something we can look at. Now, I do want to call out a little update that I had pushed, and I also pushed out a summary write-up of kind of breaking down the cheat sheet. You can find that by going to the tournament write-up section or going to the homepage. It is the featured write-up right now. So you guys can simply click on this. You can see what goes into the 9 to 5 cheat sheet, all the curated data that goes into it. But I kind of want to call that out. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to the custom model here. And what I want to look for is I want to look for kind of round 4 scoring. Who has the best round 4 scoring? This is just another way to go about looking at the data. And I also want to look at bad and worst weather specialists. So I'm going to look at bad weather over their last 5 starts, and then also look at worst weather specialists over their last 5 starts. This is also something I'm going to do a separate write on so that people can use this to their fullest. I feel like people aren't taking advantage of it the way that they should. The one thing I want to point out is that there are going to be some situations where some players, especially these DP Tour players, they might not have a full sample size going into it. That is kind of the issue. But this could kind of give you a sense of which players you might want to be on. So kind of looking at it, we can see Xander, Scotty, those are both players that have the correct data points in there, enough data in there to be players that we probably want to be on. Matt Fitzpatrick, you know, these are Terrell Hatton, these these are players that we kind of see the data also echoing that we should be on. That's just another way to look at it. I would say stick to the showdown sheet. It's just much more simple. But now we kind of get a good sense of which players we should probably be on for round 4. So let's go ahead and get back into the prop sheet and let's just call these out. So I will say for Corey Connors here, I would be perfectly fine probably betting the over on Underdog at 70, just given the win that we are supposed to get. I do imagine that he's going to struggle. So that's probably one that I want to go ahead and bet. If you guys say, hey, no, Eric, I think Corey Connors is going to have a good round 4, I'm fine with that. You can bet the under then on PrizePicks like it's calling out. But we can see right in the middle there, right? Like it should be right in the middle. So that's very interesting in that regard. So for PrizePicks, the tag is coming in as we should bet the under. For Underdog, it's coming in as we should bet the over. Literally his projection day is right in the middle. So very interesting line. And that's going to be true really for all the props that we are kidding in round 4. They all seem to be pretty accurate. So once again, we can flip it around here. Really the best one that we're probably getting would be Shane Lowry for understrokes. Now this course's biggest defense is the wind. So 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. We know that that's where the wind is at. But I do think going probably over for Tommy Fleetwood and Corey Connors on these two specific props on Underdog would probably be the way to go. Now, if you want to hedge it slightly, I don't mind that. This is very much a day in which I do not mind attacking on Underdog, simply given the fact that they pay out a little bit better when we stack props PGA-wise. And I love the fact that they're probably, to me, it seems like they are undervaluing the wind aspect a little bit. And although that hasn't really come to fruition just yet this week, it does seem like that. So I want to also call it these birdie or better ones that we are getting with them. And we are getting some prop line differences. So we do know that Scotty Scheffler is kind of one of the better plays for round 4. The data just continuously said that. I will say it is hard for me to imagine him getting 5 birdies. Okay, maybe gets a lucky eagle or something, maybe, but it does seem very difficult for him to get 5 birdies, which is what he would have to get to hit this prop on Underdog. So to me, it does seem like we were getting some Underdog slips. And so looking at it, maybe the day doesn't really like this one, but maybe we trust Xander to beat Victor Hovland birdie or better for round 3 or round 4. Looked like a pretty solid round 4 pick. Scotty Scheffler potentially as well. Ricky Fowler, like these are all pretty solid round 4 bets. And I'm actually curious. Let's go into the 9-to-5 specialist page. I just want to see which players are good, bad weather specialists specifically, because maybe we want to be on those a little bit more. So I'm just going to go by weather purely. Thomas Dietrich is actually popping up in there, so probably not touching Ricky then. Okay, and that's why I'm doing this. This is why I want to call this out. It's just another step in the process. So Rory's still a good play. Xander, that's what I want to call it. Xander probably going to be a good option for us. Maybe Wyndham Clark, who's been playing better recently. Scotty Scheffler, also a good play. So I'm curious, are we getting Wyndham Clark anywhere? No, not for birdie or better. Let's just see if there's any other players popping up here. No, not really too much. Okay, so yeah, probably just staying away from the Dietrich one now. Although, you know, to me, it seemed like it could be a good one. No need to force it, pretty much. I will say probably Xander for more birdies than Victor Hovland for PrizePicks. It does seem like we have more of an Underdog slip. All right, so they have actually bumped Corey Connors' prop down now, or up a little bit to 70.5. So they have added a 0.5 on there. If you don't want to include that, that's fine. Really, that's just him shooting over par now. So we don't really get any aspect of the push being in there. So this is what my updated kind of bet of the day would look like there. Once again, you could also use these on PrizePicks. Now, I would suggest doing just one slip, and you could literally just probably run out Scotty and Rory for more than 4 birdies. I would say chances are they are probably going to get 4 birdies. To me, it is tough to see them getting 5 birdies, just given the elements that we are going to see tomorrow. But that is it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. If you did, you know what to do. Give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to that cheat sheet or to the optimizer for the Showdown slate, both are included for $10 a month. Best value in fantasy golf. All right, let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.